Herlene Marjorie. What's going on, Herlene?
Hello, how are you, Ali?
So I've been following your Instagram, and I noticed you was talking about the miss. You started off with Mrs. and the Misses and the respect of title. We're gonna jump into that. I'm gonna
Okay.
let you step right on into this deal. I kind of get what you're saying,
hmm
but there is a generational gap here.
That's true too. That's true.
So I
So,
wanted to hear your thoughts before I give my opinion or comment.
okay. So like I said, I put on my Facebook page every year. I try to say I'm gonna do something for Black History, but since it was coming to the close, I was gonna do something that was like personal. Because actually, really, I had like two more subjects that I wanted to go into, but that I didn't. But the one that I could remember because I just got off the phone and I don't even know what triggered for me to like say it while I was on the phone because it was kind of connected to calls I had on my job because I deal with Medicaid insurance, but
Mhm.
the situation happened like months ago, and I had got like a transfer call, and I'm well aware that the person who transferred the caller to me wouldn't know my last name, the coworker, but it's the simple fact that when she transferred us, I was Miss Herlene and the white lady on the end was Miss Williams, which kind of triggered it all because it made me think about how we're losing it in our society of things that our parents taught us when it came down to how to carry ourselves as Black people
Hmm.
and how we're carrying ourselves now. Because actually, when I
Definitely,
lived, go ahead.
I say we definitely have regressed. We have not progressed.
Yeah. And the thing I was about to say when I lived in Memphis, I had that same issue because another lady and I we went back and forth, and I was like, I didn't want anybody to call me Miss Herlene, and I have a joke about that too. Um, I don't know. Well, I'm not gonna leave the joke alone, but the lady was like, she wanted people to call her by her first name because it's respect, and I'm like, respect is your last name, missing your last name. And she was like, well, I don't want anybody to call me by my last name because of fraud. I'm like, anybody can fraud you, but that's
Yep.
not respecting you either. But to go back, it rubbed me the wrong way when she said it because of instances I had and the atmosphere here. Because, and then I'm dealing with Oklahoma Medicaid too, because I work from home, I'm dealing with Medicaid, and then I'm dealing with people outside. Um, Sometimes when I go outside. So, like I was telling you earlier, like here, they have it bad calling you girl. And that's another thing I think it like unless we're cool, you shouldn't be calling me like girl. Like I'm at the doctor's office, a white lady come in, she's like, oh girl, you can just I'm looking at her like
And is it
don't
both men and women that's calling you girl?
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're losing a lot saying that we're progressing and we're not really progressing. And I think that, you know, that part with that last name and any other thing that if your parents taught you how to hold yourself as a Black person, that we should keep it instead of trying to mull it over like things have changed and things haven't really changed. And so that's why. Did you say so?
No, I'm saying so. If they call you Miss Herlene, that's still not acceptable. It's got to be the last name.
Yes, I don't care if you can't pronounce it. I would take Miss M. I would take that. It just don't call me Miss Herlene. Can I say my joke? It-
I wouldn't say your job on here.
You said what?
I said no. I wouldn't say your job on here.
No, my joke. My
Oh
joke.
yeah. Say your
But
joke. Yeah, you say your joke.
okay, so my joke is when people do call me like Miss Herlene, I was like, I don't like that because Miss Herlene sounds like the big breasted, and I don't say it like that. I'm like, Miss Herlene sound like the big breasted black lady on the plantation that's pulling hoe cakes out of her bra and feeding everybody. So I don't like that. I
But
don't
it's a
like that.
but it's a I get what you're saying, but you got to realize too, the younger generation has changed, and even at work now, it's Mister in your first name, like Mister this or Mister that, and a lot of people have done away with the last names altogether. We're not so formidable as we have, or was well as we once were.
Right. Excuse me.
And Mr.
And,
Lee, that's how we having a good night. Yes, sir, we are. Always having a good night having this discussion, having a good discussion. And
but you know, when I lived in Atlanta, it shocked me that they were Miss and first name with black people. When I first moved to Atlanta, somebody tried to school me because they were angry with me. And I was tired. I just slid some money across the counter. I was at McDonald's, and the lady was like, "You know, the civil rights. Why would you do that? The civil rights started because that." I'm like, "Lady, I'm not even paying attention to what I'm doing." But I worked at Comcast for a minute, and I had the same issue. Somebody was like, my supervisor was, I'm gonna just make up a name because I don't remember her. Her name, first name was Elizabeth, and she was a
mhm.
black lady. And one of the team leads came by, and he was like, "Well, Miss Elizabeth," I was like, "I wasn't raised like that. What is her first name?"
So, oh,
And
so
he
she
was
wants to call her by her first name.
Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah. Well,
And
like I said,
when I,
times have
huh?
changed now. I say the tides have changed now. We got a whole new younger generation now.
But why, like in Atlanta, you're saying that the civil rights started there and all that, and you're trying to school me, and not him in particularly. But it's a simple fact. Why would you play that game? And you're saying, this is not acceptable, but this is. That's the part I couldn't understand.
It's just like you said, sliding money across the counter. When I,
Mhm.
back when I was growing up back in that day, that was a no-no. That was a sign of disrespect. If you paid somebody, like have you pay a cashier, if you put the money down on the counter and slid it to her or him, that was a sign of disrespect that you didn't want to touch their hand. Most of
Yeah.
them be like, oh, you got to put my money in my hand. So
Hmm.
things have changed now with it. Well, we don't even got money no more, really.
No. No, but I mean, I seen what she was saying, but like I said at that time, I wasn't thinking. But I don't understand how that went, but that didn't go. Both of them were a sign of disrespect. And like I said on my post, like we were named after, you know, the people who owned us, and they're not gonna call us by their name because they never respected us. That's why we were boy, girl, Miss Ann, Mr. Charlie. They had their kids calling 80-year-old grown black men boy. Like all of that was disrespect. So it all should have been equal. It shouldn't have been any compromise on it.
We got Jen in the house. Hometown Blytheville. Jen, what's up? Hopefully you still got them got the doors locked. Hopefully you inside locked up. We got John Fox said hello, you're so kind. We got Kazur. Are you there? Oh, he said hello, Kazur. Nice to meet you. Where are you from with that name, if that's your real name? And for those that wondering what I'm smoking on, I'm smoking none other than that lifestyle stick. You probably can't see it in the camera, but I'm smoking that lifestyle out the fire, the founder stick. Holler at me if you want one. Jen up there, I guess Jen trucking. But no, I get what you're saying. I guess I don't know. As long as they don't call me the N word,
Hmm.
I'm good. Now, when I lived in Florida, because of this younger generation, I had an incident where this white guy came up to me. I'm sitting down like, "What up, man?" And I'm like, "Nah, brother. My name's Ali. That worked just fine. Oh, I didn't mean no disrespect, and I didn't say it with no ER. I'm like, I don't care if you put an ER on there, a N, or however you spell it. There is no proper way to call me that. Matter of
Mm,
fact, I don't even allow too many people of my color even call me that. Typically, I don't call people that. Definitely, certain things should be in private. And speaking of that, I don't know if you caught the case in Arkansas that's
mm,
going on in Arkansas State University, where this girl got into it with this white guy. I don't know what happened. He was like a teacher's assistant or something like that for the college. And I don't know what their interaction was, but she went to his dorm room and eavesdropped on him outside the door. And she's recording him as he's inside his dorm room. They calls her a nigga, basically, in there. But he's in the privacy of his room. It wasn't like he didn't do it in public or out anything else. He's having a conversation with somebody inside. It's just like a conversation inside your house. Well, she records that and she takes that and runs with it. And so then she calls the school, and so the school, which was a black lady, person answered and told her, actually, right now, you're more wronger in this situation than him. Is freedom of speech, and he was in the privacy of his own home. And so now there was different comments going back and forth about, the black lady should be fired and she was wrong. What is your take on that?
you said she went to his door and
She went to
eavesdropped.
his door while he was having a conversation with somebody else and recorded him.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you got to think about laws and rules when we do stuff too. And this is my thing about us, and this is going to sound rude, and I hate to say this. Do not we don't look at the full picture or anything, and we lead by emotions.
Hmm.
And I understand she was angry with whatever altercation they had, but there are such things, like it was considered as a privacy thing because he was behind a closed door. Because that would
Hmm.
be just like if you're at home and someone just comes by your door. It's a privacy issue, so it would be legal. She probably should have thought of another way to do that if she was trying to get something against him, but she shouldn't have went to his dorm room, because that's still considered a private area for whoever's assigned in their room.
I agree. And that was my take on the thing. I mean, do you really want to go there? I wouldn't want somebody listening outside my door, come to my door, listening to internal home conversation that I'm having. And you really don't want to get that started. It's bad enough with social media. Could you
Right.
imagine what would happen if you now being counseled and held accountable for conversations you have in your car or inside your home?
No. And then piggybacking on what you just said, like if you well, before you started on the chick, I forgot what you said, but I remember when it was like unwritten rules in our community. Like when you said old boy walked up to you and tried to say, what he said. But I remember it was like unwritten rules where when you did have white friends and you did talk to each other like that, it had to be amongst you and your group. You couldn't go around other black people saying
Yeah,
stuff like that, or you'll get jumped on.
yeah,
And that's the way I feel like here when they do that old girl stuff, because like just because you may do that with black people around here, every black person ain't the same. I don't want you calling
yeah.
me girl. We don't hang around. We don't do any of that. I don't know who you are. Okay. So when I told you that my daughter had more experiences here,
Mm-hmm.
that I have. She was hanging around this girl, and this girl, she likes to get drunk and just drive at night. So she just offered my daughter to drive with her. Mind you, my daughter has a son and she has two kids. So I'm gonna try to make this short because I'm gonna just rant on. They go to 7-Eleven, and she was trying to get some guy that was riding with them to pay for her gas. They were drunk. He couldn't pay for the gas because he was trying to get his phone to pay for, pay with his phone. It was a white lady behind the counter. She was trying to put them out. The girl started yelling she was racist to her just because she was telling her to get out. So they get to fighting, and my daughter tried to break them up. She um ended up getting in another car accident because she was drunk, and she tried to get money from 7-Eleven to pay for her fines for when she got into that altercation with the girl. She hurt the girl, got her in the put her in the hospital. So she goes back to the people at 7-Eleven and tried to get like videotapes of the fight and tried to say, tell them they were racist. So they tried to like go against the chick, the cashier that they fired for her. No, and if I didn't say the girl was a black girl, if it's like any misconceptions, they tell her that they agree with her saying that she is racist. But I'm like, you don't know who you're talking to. When my daughter tells me that the girl doesn't know who she's talking to, but you thinking you're gonna get money from 7-Eleven because they're telling you that they're racist, but they wanted the girl to go back to work right after she got hurt. So they really plug egging you on because they're angry with her because she didn't come back and go to work.
Oh
And
yeah,
that was,
workman's comp is the worst.
you said what?
Workman's comp is the worst.
It's the
Find out
worst.
you find out just how much companies don't love you when you get hurt.
And people don't understand that. And then what killed me when COVID happened, people didn't understand the companies didn't like them then. It
No,
took
but then again, we go against our own interests because I was listening to the radio here, and they were talking about things you could, if you could go back and redo something in your life, what would you do? So one guy said he would have joined the military,
mm-hmm,
and so the because I wanted, he said he wanted to fight for his country. So one of the radio hosts said, "Well, I respect people like him that want to fight for their country because some people just go in the military just to get a check or just to retire. And I don't respect or honor those type veterans. And I wholeheartedly disagree with that because I don't care what you went in the military for. If it was to travel, if you just wanted to get a venture, you just wanted to retire and get the benefits after 20 years, you served. And just like, and now it's even more important because those three soldiers that got killed in this Iran thing that's going on, it
mm-hmm,
don't matter what they went in for at this point, they done lost their life. And some then got injured, regardless of the fact of what they signed up for, you know, they've gotten hurt. They've lost their life. And another misconception is, and then they say that people fake for their disability, they got to understand and stop trying to compare it. Military disability is not the same as Social Security disability. Those same rules don't apply. And that's another thing that people don't understand. Like for the military, because we're made to shave, that's a 10% disability getting razor bumps. Now you go, well, that shouldn't matter. Flat feet is a military disability. Oh man, you shouldn't get paid for that. Why are you trying to jump into something that I don't understand why people were is always support the troops until it's time to pay the troops. That's a military disability. Plain and simple. The person you either got it or you don't. The person's not faking it. And whether you if you wanted these benefits, you should have went in there and took the chance and served. But I get tired of people trying to knock veterans because they're either getting their benefits or their reason for serving. I mean, you look at go back to 9/11 when you had guys that was in the National Guard and the reserves that thought, Oh, I'm in the reserves. I'm just going for school. But guess what? They all got called up and away from their families for 6 months, a year, 2 years. Some got killed, some got hurt. So the chances that these people take is unbelievable. I mean, and the fact you give your whole life up for those 4 years, 8 years, 20 years, however long you serve. Like right now, whether you agree with what's going on or not, when you're in the military, you don't have an opinion. Your opinion is that of the President of the United States. Matter of fact, you are government property. You can get court-martialed, fined, and get money out your check just for going to the beach getting a sunburn. If you hurt yourself, that's abuse of government property. These are things in your life that the average civilian don't have to put up with or subject themselves to. So therefore, you get benefits for certain things like flat feet, shaving waivers, and bumps that wouldn't be a disability in the civilian world. And I just think people need to think about that and respect that before they knock veterans or anybody that has gotten injured on the job or doing what they do.
Oh, I worked with a guy. He was in the Marines and he got hurt doing gun practice, and he was dishonorably discharged after he met. I mean, his like leg. I think his whole right leg, well, side,
Was he dishonorably discharged or medically discharged?
dishonorably discharged.
Wow.
He couldn't get any benefits.
Wow.
When I first moved to Kansas City, I was a security guard at this. I think it was like a insurance company.
Hmm.
And then when I be on my breaks, I'll talk to him and the receptionist. And he would limp. And I think I asked because I'm nosy, what happened. And he said they were doing practice, whatever they call it when they're doing the gun range thing. He
Yeah,
was doing
going to practice. Hmm.
he was doing that. I forgot how he said it happened, but he got hurt doing that, and they dishonorably discharged him.
They must have said he was at fault at something.
They I he didn't he was like vague about it, but that's what he told me. And I was like, still, that was messed up because they could have gave him something, a little bit of something,
They
because
ain't
he
give
was
you
like, limping.
and you have to fight like hell for them benefits too. And people think that's not easy. It's not automatic either.
Hmm.
And then
Yeah, I
you got
heard.
people that won't even apply for their benefits.
Now, if I went to the military, I'm applying for my benefits because it's
You're
there,
right. Hmm.
and
Get
it could help.
everything to you. Government got plenty of damn money. We give trillions away to other countries and everything else for on. They got plenty of money.
Um, which war was it when Bush Jr. was in office? Which one was that?
Iraq,
Okay,
deserts, no, out the Iraqi war.
okay. So I used to watch the news a lot. When that happened, they said a lot of money, grant money that they were using for people of color and black people to start businesses, they were sending it over there. I'm gonna call it colonizing. When they sent it over there to colonize that, because Halliburton, Pepsi, all of them had contracts when they when
Yeah,
they
but she dropped out for a minute. I'm sure she'll be back and get her camera together. So yeah, I encourage you, if you earned your benefits,
you said
you need to
what?
go get your benefits. Oh, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Yeah,
Your phone lights out.
yeah, that makes sense to me. And every time veterans they come on my social media platforms, if it's anything I find for veterans that they can get free, I'll try to like repost it on my pages. Try to get every free thing you can get from everybody.
Veterans Day is like my Christmas. I go eat everything they got on Veterans Day. Every free meal I want it. Your camera went
Hey,
out. You got a loud
it
noise in
is.
your camera.
Can you see me now?
No. Is your camera on? Look down in the corner and see if the camera thing is on. I can hear you, but we can't see you. You keep going in.
Hold on.
Technical
Now,
difficulties, those happen. No, I still can see you, but I can hear you.
wow,
Make sure it ain't a red X over the button.
it's not though.
Hmm. Interesting. But log out, try to log back in.
Okay, hold on.
Mm. But anyway, while she's getting that together, just talking to y'all. What's up with y'all in the crowd? Y'all got any opinions on the veterans, showing the veterans fighting for their country? I actually got it for a while, and that can help with that. But yeah, it's a shame that in this country we say we love our military, but we truly don't. When we love them until it's time to pay them. And the same thing with people working hard. You can be a great worker, just dedicated, busting your ass every day, and the minute you fall and get hurt, they'll replace you like it ain't no thing. It's like you never existed, and they don't care that you hurting or you in pain. Anybody got any travels planned this year? I don't know if it's quite safe right now to go anywhere around the world. Now I'm a little afraid. I don't think I'm gonna be traveling anywhere this year. It's just a little bit too dangerous. I think the climate is just a little bit too hot for me to try to travel and go anywhere. I was thinking about going to Mexico, maybe taking a few cruises. I still might, but I'm not getting off that boat. Cartel going wild around now. I'm not trying to be having to take shelter nowhere in somebody's resort. I did want to go to Dubai. It looked nice, but hell, they holding folks up in Dubai hotels. There you go. Now we see you.
Okay,
What,
I
Lorna?
had to close that up and
Well, I was just talking, and so I listened to Lorna. I was just telling them about. I don't know if I'm gonna be traveling out of the country this year, or maybe not until Bush is out of office. I mean, not Bush until Trump is out of office. And
same people.
look, Lorna talking about fret not and go. I'm gonna let you go. Yeah, you go test the waters for me and report back and let me know what's going on, especially Mexico. I don't know about that. You got Dubai, definitely nowhere in the Middle East. I mean, I think you're a soft target wherever you go in this world right now. Too
Hmm.
much going on for me. So yeah, y'all can have that. But hell, just last this weekend, 20 minutes away from me, they shot up 6th Street here in Austin.
Really?
Yeah, it was on the news. I'm surprised it made world news. So uh, it was funny because I was downtown last weekend in Austin, and typically it's a depending on where you go, there's some nice little areas in Austin. Don't get me wrong, that's a little older, but typically it's a lot of the young folks, other kind that out there in the Hispanic culture. And so I'd be watching TikTok, and usually every time I turn on TikTok, it's like big street fights. Cause I mean, it's kind of like New Orleans. Austin got like this 6th Street. It's kind of like New Orleans, with a lot of little bars and stuff go in and out, and people hang out in the street, walk, drink, whatever they do. You can't have open container, but a lot of people hanging out, and then they get into a fight. You know what happens when you got young folks and alcohol. It really don't
Hmm.
matter what race you are, but they tend to put it like on this race is the only one to get drunk and act a fool and clown and fight and everything. And I mean, this was one chick, man. Some of them, this one Hispanic girl, I found that video, I had to see it, man. She got some hands, man. She's fighting this one girl. She straight hit her and knocked her straight out cold. I mean, people be getting laid out there. I mean, it's definitely some hands out there on 6th Street. And now that I'm getting older, I can't bob and weave like I used to, and I'm not trying to be caught on no video sleeping. I, I'm not sleeping, so I'm not trying to get knocked out and go to sleep. So I stick to the little older look. You asked me earlier, which we'll get into, why I go to cigar bars and how I got into smoking cigars. But that's one of the, I got to go one safe because, like I said, these young folks, I'm not 20 no more, so I'm not trying to get out there and get knocked out. But they always got something going on. So for that reason, I tend to stay off Sixth Street. And it's just really nothing there for me. And but there's a few bars that's cool. Like I said, I was out there. I had a good time last weekend when I went, but this particular weekend, thank goodness, I didn't go. And
Hmm.
I was near the spot where the guy shot up. I want to say Saturday night. So from my understanding, he drove down the street as a drive-by. Which when I heard the drive-by, I'm like, dang, they've been hanging around some black friends. So he drives by and starts shooting folks up, and then they say he gets out of the car and starts shooting some more, and he killed like 3, 4 people and wounded like 14. And they're labeling that as part of a terrorist act. But when they raided his house is not too far from where I live. So I like, dude, this is crazy. So I mean, even in the U.S., you're still not completely safe and don't never know what's gonna happen. But I'll take my chances here before I get stuck internationally.
Hmm. I don't watch the news like I used to.
Me neither. I don't watch the news either, and that's why it just happened to pop up on the news on social media.
Mhm.
I try not to depress myself. I mean, because it's the same old story whenever you watch the news. It's I'm so tired. There's no such thing as like you talking about the respect of Mister and Mrs. has went away. There's no such thing anymore as fact, fiction, or truth. Is everything's a trigger word against you. I mean, you either a conservative, oh, you leaning conservative, oh, you leaning liberal. We don't even take into account no more. Is it true? They don't even come up. It's just, is it true what they're saying? Is it not true what they're saying? It's, oh, you lean conservative, or you didn't, or it's a racist, or what's it called, socialism, or uh, like I was talking to somebody earlier, and we were talking about diet and weightlifting and everything. And I'm like, oh, you eating a bunch of junk. That's that's a dirty. That's what they call in powerlifting. It's dirty bulking. And I was like, that's when you see the powerlifters walking around and they're huge, but they got this big belly and they just eating everything in sight because they're trying to build bulk up before it's competition. And the person
Mhm.
comes back was like, well, why are you uh body shaming me or fat shaming me? And I'm like, oh my God, every damn thing's a trigger. You can't have a decent conversation no more without you. It's some type of trigger word or something that's gonna set folks off.
Yeah, yeah. And
I see, yeah, yeah,
what,
go
what?
ahead.
Oh, I was getting ready to say, like I used to do. I hate doing customer service now, and my thing is, I like to ask a lot of questions, and I don't like that. I like my kids know I ask a lot of questions, and I get that same thing. Like I can't ask a question without them giving me a bunch of information that I don't need. If I can, let me. I'm gonna try to think of an example without getting triggered myself. Cause I'll ask. Okay, I'll ask. Let me think of something because I'll get triggered and start cussing in a minute. And I don't know if I can cuss on your
Oh, you
platform.
can cuss. Yeah, you can cuss. We do it all. I mean, there's a lot of
Okay.
bullshit that goes around. And yes, Danielle, it is crazy. And yes, Lorna, it is the black. It was the black guy with the Iran shirt on, which I thought he's African. I don't know. I hadn't really watched a lot on this. But yeah, Sixth Street is a vintage and it is for the younger crowd. But it's just the world we live in now. And you like me, it's like get to the damn point. I don't like a lot of fluff and a lot of words. So a lot of people think that I'm short or I'm an asshole. I get calls because I'm like, sum that shit up. I'm not reading long paragraphs. I'm not going through all this. Say what the hell you got to say. Give it to
Right.
me and give it to me raw. I ain't got time for all that. And I'm not easily offended.
And I don't think we should be as grown people. Like I don't understand why we got to sugarcoat everything. And then that goes with your age gap thing too, because I don't understand why everything like the way stuff is politically correct now doesn't even make sense to me. It is it's like we're saving people's feelings, but also not intertwining respect in it. And it is it just doesn't make sense to me because we're just not, how can I put this? It's like we're doing too much and not doing enough with
Oh,
with society.
like now in sports, it's like what the hell is a participation trophy? That is skunk rules and shit. If you don't want a team to blow your ass out, stop them from scoring. Man, the fuck help, stop their ass. I like I don't get it. If you get beat in a game 100-0, then that means your team suck. It is what it is. Your coaching suck. Your players suck. Get better. But no one can say that. That's mean. No, everybody's not winners in life. Everybody's not equal. It's just like I tell people. People be like, uh, but perfect time. I went like I did go out Saturday, so I took a Uber because I didn't want to drink and drive, and I felt like getting lit. Well, when I went to get in my Uber, as I was going to my Uber, it was this white couple getting in my Uber. So I walk up and it was like a black driver, right? And I'm going up to the black driver, and I'm like, "Ain't you son?" And he like, you, and I'm like, "Yeah, Ali," and I'm like, "Yeah." So then I'm like, "Well, is this Uber?" And so they're like, "Oh, well, we took the wrong Uber," which they knew they had damn well they had the wrong Uber. So I was like, and his name was Quinn. I was like, Quinn, I was about to think differently of you. And he's like, what you mean? I'm like, are you finna give up my Uber for the other folks? Is it like that?
Uh-huh.
And he was a cool guy. He was laughing and everything. So I was talking to somebody. And I was because no, I tell people right off the bat. People be like, I don't judge, and I was like, no, I judge. I judge like hell. I'm the first to tell you right away. I'm judging you, and I'm judging every damn thing about you, and in the way I feel as I should. Now, is my judgment always correct? No. But you are getting judged in this world. Matter of fact, what did Martin Luther King say? You will be judged by the content of your character.
Mm.
Uh, but people don't feel that they should be judged. They should be excused now for whatever reason. And I always tell people if you're walking down the alley by yourself and you see some suspicious looking dudes that look like they may have weapons, it's in your best interest to make a judgment call and to judge those people as a threat and go
Uh-huh.
the other damn way. You walk around, I don't judge. They're probably good people. I'm not gonna take certain chances to find out.
I can't think of, like I said, I get triggered because I like my job, I have to ask questions to see what people are trying to call in for. This lady got angry with me because I was asking questions. She told me that I was rude. Then she told me I was treating her like she was stupid.
Yeah,
And
that's another. I get that question all the time because I ask because I want to know and I want to understand because common sense is not common.
that and then what she was calling about, because she kept cutting me off. And I think it was about a claim. And she said something like, well, it had to be that they were in network because it was paid. I'm like, not necessarily so, because that's not going to connect with me. That's the only thing I could get her to shut up, because when you're dealing with insurance, it can still pay out if the provider is out of network. It'll just pay at a out of network provider price.
Hmm. And they tell you that when you get your insurance, we're only going to pay 80 to 90% or 100% in network, but 50% if you out of network. You know that when you sign up for insurance. If anybody ever had insurance, you know that,
Well,
or you
she
should
works
know.
for the doctor's office. She should know that, and she's in billing. And then I wouldn't know, just because you're saying that this a claim paid, and I didn't pull up the claim. I wouldn't know why it paid in the first place. So why are you getting angry with me that I'm asking questions? I have to ask these questions because I don't know what the real issue is. Like, that's another thing I'm hating about customer service, because they act like I'm psychic, and if I'm psychic, I need to quit this job and get the number so I can be Miss Cleo. Having y'all calling me for $4.99 a minute, and I tell you what your life gonna be. I'm not gonna sit up here and argue with y'all all day and night. Like, none of that makes sense. Why would I sit up here and know what you're talking about? And and you know what has become a pet peeve with me? People will sit up here and say something like, A, B, C, and then D comes after that. And if I offend anybody, I'm sorry.
Fuck
But
them.
I'm finna
If they're offended, fuck them. Hit dogs holler. That's what I'm saying. If you offended by that fucking, I mean, you're gonna be pissed off. I'm not gonna like everything people say in this word. Everybody's not gonna like everything I say, and that's my thing. It's okay to disagree. We
Mhm.
forget, we act like everything got to be in harmony. I got to like everything you say or do. I don't, and that's the beauty of being individual.
Individualism, being an individual, because everybody's not going to be the same. We're going to have like the same takes on things, but we're not going to be exactly the same. We're like, none of that makes sense. What makes you think I wouldn't want 50 Herlines running around here? I would drive myself crazy.
You
I,
know, that's the thing though that drives me crazy with the black community.
mm,
We either got to be all in on something or you cancel. You're not black. If I don't agree with you and what you say in your philosophy or something, well then I'm not black because I got a different take.
I hate you said that, because let me tell you something. In my past time, I be having internet beefs. And most of my internet beefs be because this segment of black people who, how can I put this? Okay, the last internet beef I had, it was a post. This guy had post something like, "He's not of this earth. He is Rubian." And huh?
Them dudes, them
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
I had put in the comments. He had me until he said, "Not from this earth." So people were coming at me. They were saying I needed to be lost. Um, some more stuff. But it was like a long thread of me going after people. Like, it got to the point I'm like, okay, you can believe what you believe, but unless this stuff help us as a community to build
Oh,
businesses,
exactly. I
I don't
said that
care
just last
what you
week.
believe.
That matter of fact, I said that. I always say that it doesn't make any sense to me that you can decode the emerald tablets and you can read the Meta Nature and hieroglyphics if you still punching the clock and it ain't making you no money and feeding your family. It's great knowledge to know, but it's useless to you. It's not growing you as a person.
No, no,
It can't even get can you get a job with it? Can you make a career? What are your talents? What are your goals? It's just like people will now get offended, and even some women today, if you ask them questions like, okay, what are your goals? Or what do you bring to the table? That's a trigger, and I don't understand. If you know you, if you, I don't view that as a challenge. If we were dating and you say, well, I we're going to try to get together. I need to know what I'm dealing with and how can we merge. So, what set of skills can are you contributing to this relationship? You got your set of skills and what you bring, I got what I bring, and now we can start talking about a goal of what we can collectively build. That
mm-hmm,
shouldn't be if you know yourself and you're comfortable with yourself. I don't feel like that should be a trigger if you bring something. But my thing is, you only get offended when you bring nothing. And it ain't all about money all the time. You know, some people don't need money. Some people need good coaching. They need somebody to help care for them. I mean, it's a whole host of valuable things that you can bring, but besides money to the table. But people get very offended. Why I got to bring something to the table, and I don't like Kevin Samuels. Everybody hated him, women, but some of the stuff I was like,
he said
well, it's a
point.
fair question. And then why do you call into his show to argue with him? You already know where he stand when you call in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I mean, I understand that, and then something you just said made me think about not only that. When you talked about bringing it to the table, like, you also need to know who's gonna be there in the end, because like the way life goes, stuff is up and down. So you need to know if that person can stick it in with you through the tough times, and whatever you can bring to the table, whether it's support, money, whatever it is. Like, are you gonna stick it to the end, or are you gonna cut out and run for what you think is better? Like,
And that's
everybody needs.
yeah. And that's why I say you have to judge because that's what I'm looking at. If I'm dating or friend or whatever like that, you affect me. You are now, or whether you're a friend, girlfriend, or whatever. You are a
Mm,
reflection of me. So I got to know what I'm signing up for, and I have to use data based on your patterns. I mean, if everything is about money and me taking care of you and everything else, well, what you gonna do if I lose my job or I don't have money? Then I guess I don't bring any value to it that anymore at that point. So you out of there.
mhm.
And it's not to be mean or belittle anybody, but you're right. And that's why we have so many relationships that go bad because people don't have these conversations. Everybody's so offended, and nobody wants to be challenged.
I totally agree. I agree. Yeah, because it's like I'm not gonna say everybody, but most people they have that what do you do or they give me aspect when it comes down to relationships, and is that's you might as well be by yourself. That's not a relationship. So
That's
yeah,
why most people are. I mean,
with
it's like everybody got mad at Kevin Gates because they asked him, do he believe in a woman having a bunch of male friends? And he's like, yes, she can have male friends, but she's not gonna be with me.
hmm
So, and I share that to a sentiment now. Can a woman have a male friend that she's been knowing? Yeah, you ain't got to cut no relationships off. But if you're around a bunch of men, why in the hell do I want a woman that's in every dude's face?
true,
Then,
true.
and so people be like, oh, you're insecure, you're into that. I mean, call it what you want. But no, who wants that?
Then not only that, I'm gonna say me as a woman, because I was gonna do it rhetorically. Like if I had a bunch of men as friends, you never know which one of those male friends really see you as a friend. Somebody could be there to, wait for that moment to make you more than a friend.
A lot of, there's like that. Whether you believe it or not, like they always say, most of the male friends, if they had the chance, they're gonna sleep with you.
Yeah, I heard that before too. Yeah, yeah, that's an old saying. Oh, but what I was saying, like my pet peeve now is when people explain something so simple and then turn around and say, "Does that make sense?" And that burns me up because like you are not that confident to explain yourself better than that for you to like come after. Does that make sense? Because I understand what you're saying. Why are you coming back with does that make sense? Like, did it make sense to you when you were thinking it?
Well, I know what you're going with that, and I've had that. I've sat down with some people and I tried to explain certain things to. I laid it out. I brought factual data, references, and everything. And I've sat there and spent 30 minutes explaining something to a person, and I had to have people look me dead in my eyes after I gave them all this information, and they look me dead in the eye and say, "Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I don't know." And I'd be like, "You do know. I just explained it to you." It's crazy to me.
But a lot of people, when I'm on this phone, they'll say that because I don't come back with a response. And I'm one of those people it takes, like, I'll try to hear what you say
Mhm.
and then come back. Like, I don't come back immediately. And that's what they want. Like, they want me to come back like that and say, oh, this is the problem. And sometimes some of the situations are not like that. And then, like, with dealing with this insurance, I gotta let it marinate for a minute because I'm like, oh, I seen this. What is that article? They'll have articles for us to go and pick that information out and then give them the answer. So a lot of times I'm trying to figure out where to get that answer. And then like they'll talk a mile a minute and then expect me to come. Like I'm not that swift with it. I'll give you a minute. No, I'll take a minute. Maybe I'll say, okay, I'll be happy to assist you, blah, blah, blah. But they won't even let you get that out. It's like they want that answer right then and there. And then if you don't give them that answer, they swear you never understood what they were saying in the first
The
place.
high pressure conversation.
You said what?
They call it the high pressure conversation.
And it's not high pressure. You just don't get an answer right then and there.
Well, some things you just don't know. Like I tell people, I just don't know. Like I had a guy at work come to me, And I don't even know how we got on that conversation, but because I told him, well, I don't really watch a lot of news. I'll check in just to see what's going on, but then typically I tune out, like I said, because everybody lives in their own reality right now. I'm like, you can find facts to support anything. Like the guy that say he's not in that on this earth. I'm pretty sure as soon as we get off here, you're gonna get social media posts and YouTube suggesting about people not from this earth and everything. So I'm like, you can provide fake proof nowadays for just about anything. So his conversation was about Michelle Obama being a man. And I was like, man, they said, oh, so and so, they were showing this. And I'm like, I don't believe Michelle Obama is a man. I was like, she has two children that come, Sasha Malia. It shouldn't be that difficult to prove. I'm sure the Republicans would have proved that without any question that if she didn't really have those two children, that's not hard to go out and find evidence. Did she really have these children? She's got a brother. She's got relatives. She's got nephews. He's got nephews, and he's got family between Africa and the United States.
Mm.
Uh, somebody seemed people went to school with them. So I mean, it wasn't like she just popped on the scene yesterday or when she became to be president. They tell you the whole history of how they met and everything else, and in college and everything else. So if she was a man, being that no one liked them, everybody would have been saying that. So I'm like, I'm not going to even have that conversation with you.
Mm.
Some conversations I learned that when I was younger, I would have these debates, but nowadays I just cut certain questions off. I'm like, to me, that's just crazy. And
And
that's
you were
just
talking about me when I said I walk off. You can't talk
well,
about me.
But no, I don't walk off. I just end the conversation because, like I tell them, that's a conversation to nowhere. That person has watched a lot of Fox News. Yeah, I'm gonna throw that out there and conspiracy stuff. And with some conspiracy stuff, I do watch and I do agree with some things on that opinion. But I let them have their opinion, but I let them know there's no need in us going no back and forth because unless you can come bring me other concrete proof, I'm not
Evidence.
gonna agree with you. Evidence,
That's what.
I am not gonna agree with you.
But I was gonna say I'm a conspiracy theorist to a point, and then some of the stuff that people believe on the internet, I'm like, how in the hell you get this far with this? Like, it doesn't make sense that you would go this far and believe that, and you won't believe something that's logical to me, in my opinion. Like, it's some stuff you like, I can kind of see that, but that whole thing with that Michelle Obama stuff is crazy. I don't see how anybody could repeat that without some type of
I mean,
speculation was wrong. Like, you
it,
don't have some type of belief is wrong.
I mean, and nowadays everybody got some type of illness. That's another thing. Everybody got some type of problems nowadays. I mean, you gotta look
Everybody,
at you.
you didn't know that. You didn't know
It,
everybody autistic.
everybody,
You
everybody got anxiety. Everybody got some type of trauma or whatever these days. And medically, you can prove anything. I mean, if you really want to go back, they said that it was a medical disease that black people suffered for wanting to be free from slavery. I forget what they called it, the disease, but they said there was a medical condition that black people that tried to escape off the plantation, they suffered. And that
when
was
it's
a
some type of
documented medical,
psychologist that came up with that.
yeah. That was a medical issue. If you didn't want to be a slave no more and wanted your freedom as a black person, that was a mental illness and a
Mm-hmm.
disease. That was medically documented.
Mm-hmm.
So anything can be. But like I was talking with Asha last week, and that's what we were talking about because everybody got a daddy issue, everybody got a mama issue, whatever. And so I made a statement that you may have a problem that you suffer. Yes, there are certain traumas that some people legitimately have and suffer from. However, you need to have a deadline on that. There needs to be some healing at some point. If you suffer from mommy, daddy issues or whatever, or and some things you can't just get over, but there needs to be some type of medication or something to make you better. If you suffer from anxiety, they have pills for that. You should know your triggers, how to avoid that. I shouldn't have the same conversation with you 10 years from now and you still healing and talking about, well, I do this because I got this issue and I got this issue or that issue. Some things you need to put a damn deadline on and stop
That
milking.
chick that I told you my daughter was hanging around that got drunk that beat up the cashier at 7-Eleven, she's the same way. She said that she gets drunk because her mother was on crack and didn't cater, didn't be a mother to her. And she's 40. She's 40. And she has gotten drunk and wrecked two cars, two trucks.
No, her problem that she really get to the root cause is she's an alcoholic and she suffers from
Mm,
alcoholic.
yeah, but
And
she doesn't think she has a problem though. She
what most
thinks she's
people
like
don't.
everybody else.
Just the thing, you at the scene of every crime, like it or not. Everything that go bad in your life, you at the scene. No matter what you at. If you switch cities, you got the same problem. I know people that claim they got nobody like me. They think this, and they always think I do everything I can for everybody. Everybody always use me and take advantage of me. Okay, you move to a new city, the same story. Everybody used you and took advantage of you in that city. You ain't got no friends because you can't be trusted. And then you get a whole new group, and it's just a whole line of what somebody else has done to you. And
Hmm.
at sometimes it may not be them, it may be you.
Yeah, one, you could be picking the wrong people. The same wrong people everywhere you go.
Then that means you are a part of them.
Mm,
I mean, think about it. If I'm hanging with crackheads and these are my constant everyday friends, eventually I'm gonna become a crackhead. Because what is attracting me to crackheads everywhere I go? Unless
mm,
I'm doing crack. Well, what is it that interests me about it? This is where I'm gonna go no matter what city or where I'm at in the world. I'm gonna go where crackheads hang out at. Evidently, it's something within me.
mm-hmm.
It ain't everybody else. It ain't like crackheads seeking me out, finding me.
So I hope not.
And that's why I tell people. I picked up. Now, people will use you if you let them, but
Right.
you tend to learn the signs when you judge folks. You tend to realize right away, nah, this person is a user. I need to separate away from these. I see the signs. These are red flags, and I'm gonna free myself from this.
Hmm.
And that goes back to when you picking a boyfriend or girlfriend or a partner. There's certain red flags. It's like if, and it may not be true. If you got a woman or a man that's always in front of certain people's faces or whatever, of the opposite sex or whatever, and then you find out they having cheating and having affairs, well, I mean, I'm gonna avoid as many red flags as I can in the beginning. Call it insecure, but or whatever. But my job is to get with somebody that I feel secure with.
Right. Right.
And it's not like you asking them to change. You just think about Kevin Gates' statement. He's not saying, well, she had to get rid of me. He's just saying, hey, if that's the way you roll, I respect that, but I don't respect that. So I'm going over here with somebody and making the choice to be with somebody that don't have a bunch of male friends in front of their face.
Yeah.
But people don't believe that you can have your individuality, or you don't have the right anymore to your personal desires, I guess you could say.
I mean, society acts as though you do like it seems like a free for all. Do whatever you want to do, feel however you want to feel, and be whatever you think you are. You
Yeah,
don't
and
have
everybody got to accept it.
You said what?
And everybody has to accept it. I gotta like it.
Right. Right.
I
But
mean, I
and if you think
respect it,
differently, you don't have a right to that, though.
and people are fine. I just don't understand why people think that way nowadays. It didn't used to be like that. Like I said, fact and fiction is gone from this world, and
True.
I feel sorry for the young generation. I mean, and with AI, it's only gonna get worse.
And the thing about it is, like, I do like technology. Don't get me
I love
wrong, but I think there's a time and a place for it, and I don't think like everything needs to be. technical. Like I think we should have a line drawn somewhere, but it's going to get blurred. And I see a lot of stuff that comes up in my YouTube feed talking about how worse this AI thing is going to get. And a lot of people are like losing jobs and walking. Well, I seen one where I think somebody walked away from Facebook because of the AI situation, and I think Google.
Well, I mean, AI is here to stay,
Oh, I already know. I already know.
and
I
yeah,
already
it's a lot of jobs lost, but there's going to be a lot of job gain. We went through the same thing though, and with the information age in the late '90s, early 2000s,
know.
the computer age did it eliminated a whole bunch of jobs that don't exist no more once we got computers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we don't need filing clerks anymore. Everything is on an Excel file or on a folder in a computer now. You don't have big walls of file cabinets anymore. You don't need that. We don't walk around with calculators anymore. You don't go to Fuji camera to drop off a roll of film and pick it up anymore.
I miss that though. I miss that. I miss like the little 35 is 35 millimeter,
Yeah,
and
35
try to bring
minutes.
it back a little bit.
Nah, they ain't coming back.
Yeah, I've seen some. I
I mean,
seen
they
some
got some
cameras.
throwback vintage, but it
Yeah.
ain't coming back as a whole. And picture most people, unless you print it out, it's
Mm.
digital scrapbooking and stuff now. I mean, it's just like everybody had a fit when they stopped teaching cursive in schools, but the new world don't require you to have to do that.
Mm.
You don't have to. But I
I,
mean, it's a lost art. But with the information age, as much as it took away, it created, especially for black people, a lot of black millionaires and billionaires and six-figure black folks came out of the information age. It's a lot of black people now making six figures like it ain't nothing that wouldn't have had this opportunity back in the 80s. We mostly, factory workers. Now it's hard to gatekeep some of the technology. Now you can go on YouTube and learn anything you wanted to know. Whereas you used to have to had to know somebody to get in on it, and they would gatekeep it, and they wouldn't want to share it with you. But now you can get on the internet and learn any damn thing you want to know, and become an expert. You keep practicing with it.
the thing about it is, the older generation that they don't want to do, the computer thing, anything that has anything to do with computers. They are the ones that lose in the end. Because when I worked at Humana for the Medicare and Medicaid, well, that was mostly Medicare insurance. They refuse, and they were trying to go straight digital with the bills, cards, all of that. And most of them was like, "Oh, I'm 65, I'm 98. I don't know anything about a computer." Most of them refuse
Yeah.
to even touch it.
Well, they ain't gonna get no social security check if they don't. It's just you gotta learn and you gotta grow. Things are not gonna stay the same, and that's what I said when everybody was talking a lot of shit about Gen Z and what they do, and I'm like, think about when we got rid of the mules and went to tractors. I mean, we don't use mules to plow fields anymore. Times
Mm.
have changed. Uh, Back in our day, we used fax machines. You didn't need a carrier to run everything by mail. You got over. We use calculators. People said the same thing about us when we start using calculators. Oh, you shouldn't use calculators. That's cheating. What you gonna do when you ain't got a calculator? You don't know how to do math. We done just well with calculators. Matter of fact,
Not
it
everybody.
mandatory that you had to have a calculator for math class.
Uh-huh.
Nobody's doing statistics by hand and by graph paper no more.
Um, I have my degree in graphic design, and we had to hear the instructors talk about how they didn't even have Adobe when they were when they were in the industry. They didn't have Adobe. Everything were the graph rulers, the pencils. It like everything was by hand.
Yeah, we don't do that no
Mm.
more. You and in fact, you can't even compete doing that no
Are you breaking up?
more.
Yes, I can. Yeah.
But nah, so like I said. things have changed and you got to adapt with the new world or you're going to be left behind. So now you got AI that's doing everything for you. And I'm not against it. You just got to learn new skills. There's going to be new AI jobs that's going to create some more billionaires and millionaires
Mm.
if you're willing to grow and adapt with the new world. And that's the same thing, with relationships and everything. Back in the day, yo, Facebook jumped in your inbox was like a little black book. Remember when all the men used to have a little black book? Back in the 80s. Right?
Oh, okay. I was
Remember,
like,
remember,
no, I
remember,
don't remember
yeah,
that.
remember when women used to catch men cheating back in the day, it wasn't going through your phone. They were going through searching for your little black book where you have
Right.
everybody's numbers written down in the little black book.
Right. Okay. I'm here. I'm here now. Yeah.
So yeah, things are changing. I mean, some for the good, some for the bad. You just got to adapt. And I mean, that's the same thing as it shaped people in relationships. Relationship dynamics are changing,
Yeah.
whether people agree or disagree with it.
Mm.
You just, I mean, because pretty soon, I mean, it's my theory. Probably in the next 10 to 15 years, people gonna have AI relationships.
If they're not already having them already.
I want to say what over 4,000. Oh, there's been over 4,000 deaths around the world due to AI.
Really?
Yes, people have killed themselves due to chatbots, and that's why they had to put limits on it. Oh, I know it was Belgium or somewhere overseas. A guy AI convinced him he wanted to be with the AI that he was talking to, and so he the AI told him, hey, if you kill yourself, basically we can be together. So he killed himself. There's been some cases. There was a teenager that killed himself due to AI.
That was gonna be my next question. Wasn't that like in Milwaukee somewhere?
Yeah. So there's a lot of deaths been going on, or people got issues and problems, and they go into AI, and AI don't think like a human. So AI is kind of like, hell, your life really that bad? Yeah, maybe you should go ahead and kill yourself.
Mm.
And but now they put safeguards in there. But my thing is, and I don't mean to offend nobody, but what do you expect from an AI? It is not, there's lawsuits against this stuff, but I don't know. In today's world, you can't jump out in front of a car and then get mad because you got hit.
Yeah, because the parents was highly upset, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but where were you guys? Like,
And
where
that,
were?
and I get it. You can't be everywhere. It's just like the different social medias, people
Mm.
blaming social media for their kids and for anxiety and all of this and that. But it's like this is not apparent. This
No.
can't possibly catch everything that you thinking in your human mind and that may go wrong. You just can't guess with technology every scenario that's going to happen.
And as a parent, you got to put in action because, like, one of my brothers had gifted my daughter when she was like 12 a Dell computer that he had refurbished. And when I worked nights. When I got in the morning, I would go to that computer and in the search engine, well, in yeah, the search bar, I would put every letter in the alphabet, every letter of the alphabet in the search engine just to see what was searched the
Oh,
night
damn,
before.
you smart. Damn. I would have thought to do that. Yeah, that's a good bar right there. That's a good secret. I never would have thought to do that.
I went in there and then like I find out what she was doing the night before on the computer.
It's like, yeah. And something, I mean, but yeah, but that's good parenting though. But like I said, that never would have crossed my mind to do that. I just always tell my kids, they was like, I was like a drill sergeant. I was telling them, hell, this is what you will not do. And I don't care. I always raise my kids, there is no excuses. You are responsible for you and what you do. I don't want to hear you influenced by so and so or so and so calls you to do this or whatever.
Mm.
You do it, that's your ass. It's like my daughter when she was graduating, she was like, "Oh, I'm going to do a senior prank." and we going to throw tissue around the school. And I'm like, the hell you is? For them, it's a senior prank. For your ass, that's a felony, breaking and entering, and theft
Um,
and obstruction. You ain't doing that.
um, yeah, yeah. Like now people just think they can just like sit their kids, and I'm not trying to offend, but at the same time, like it has to be structure. Like give them a time that an hour to be on the computer or the TV or whatever, and then like I have a son, he's been with his dad, but when he was little for a while, it was like TV when I'm cleaning up or on like we'll watch it together. I'll try to make sure with both of my kids, I try to make sure whatever they're watching, we're all watching. So I know what you're watching. So I have to make sure whatever you're watching is worth a child's mind worth of
But two,
watching.
you need to make your children do educational things with the technology. Like if you're gonna be on YouTube, what are you learning? Like my daughter, like Chick-fil-A. I made her read the book about Chick-fil-A. You need to know Truett Cat. You need to learn all this stuff. I made, kids sit down. I made one of them sit down and read Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Hmm. You
You know
did?
what I mean? Yeah,
Is that a good book?
it is an excellent book. It is. I find it as it's a starter book that breaks investing down in a not it's not like business where it's just straight boring. It's a story that you can logically get and you understand it. So although I disagree with a lot of stuff Robbie Kiyosaki does now, but
Mm.
that is a great starter book to introduce a child to get their mind thinking about business in the world of investments.
Okay.
And even for an adult. I think I read that back. That was back in 2002, 3 when I got that book, and I ended up reading that Cash Flow Conjuring and some of his others, Rich Dad Guide to Investing. But Rich Dad Poor Dad, as a matter of fact, you ain't even got to read it now. I think you can go on YouTube and search Rich Dad Poor Dad, and they got
Oh, you got stuck on me.
the whole
Oh.
audio book on YouTube for free.
The reason why I asked because I had one of his videos in my watch later, and I haven't watched it yet. Oh, you stuck on me again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I hear you.
So yeah, I would start off. I go on YouTube or whatever, and I would check out Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Okay. Yeah, I
And
have one of his videos in my watch later that I never watched. I was kind of reluctant to like open it up.
nah, I found this excellent. But when you read it, you let me know what you think about it.
Hmm.
But
I'm
no,
gonna see if it's still in my on YouTube.
yeah, I think it still is. But yeah, if it ain't, let me know. I think I don't know if I still got the book. I might have gave it away to somebody by now. I think I might still have it somewhere in there. But no, excellent book. And like I said, now with audio books and Audible and all that, it's just no excuse to not get knowledge now.
Mhm.
So I always try to uh, put something in my brain besides staying on social media and try to balance it. Sit
Mhm.
down and learn and disconnect sometimes. Matter
Yeah.
of fact, I never will forget. I had a conversation years ago with Chris Moore, which we know, and because Chris always seemed to know about a lot of different stuff. So we
Mhm.
was around and we was in a group, and somebody asked, "Man, how do you know so much?" And he was like, "Because I read. That's why." And it's kind of like a light bulb went off, and I was like, "Damn, you're really right. I need to start reading more." It's magic, like they say, it can change your world reading and get knowledge and not just looking for the latest fight or drama, which is what most people feed into.
Mhm.
I was telling people, matter of fact, me and Lois Shu, who's usually would be on here with me, but he had some things he had to do tonight. We were talking about that. You go back to 2022, I did a video on how to buy gold. And at the time that I did that video, at fractions of gold for like whatever you got, $5, $10 or whatever. I actually had the guy from Boston come on there. Very few
Mm.
people were interested. But gold was like $1,800 an ounce then. Now in 2026, gold is over $5,000 an ounce.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
But like I said, anything where you giving knowledge out, people are not
Uh,
into. But then when you start doing something, and people start saying, now they want to know about it. Hey man, what's this about this or that? And it's like, go back and read, go research it.
yeah, because I used to keep up with stocks. I don't do that anymore. But I used to keep up with stocks, and when I lived in Atlanta, I worked at a tobacco company, and I could like figure out which stocks to invest my 401k in back then when I was into stocks.
But I would encourage you to go back into them stocks. That is the only way path that you can make it. Banks are not what they used to be. So I would definitely encourage you to get back into the game into the stock market.
Oh, I don't even think credit unions are the same. And I may be basing it on what's going on in Oklahoma
Mm-mm.
because no,
Now
you
you got
don't.
to invest in to get back in the stocks.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna have to get ready to end this. We had about an hour and 15 minutes, but I enjoyed you jumping on here with me tonight. We don't have to do this again.
Uh, okay. I thought I sucked tonight.
Ah, you did good.
I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of nervous because I was like, oh, what if I don't know what to say? Oh, what if I mess up and say something crazy?
I'm glad you
But
took the chance. No one messes up on here.
oh, okay. But I'm glad you asked though. I was like, oh, what are we gonna talk about? Okay, I'll get on it. What are we gonna
All right, I got you. I wasn't gonna let you. I wasn't gonna let you get dry and do you like that. But no, you got to come back on with me. We got to do this again, Miss Magrum,
Marjoram? Oh, that
Marjoram.
was gonna be my other Black History thing because I was gonna go on my page and say, because I believe my last name is a racial slur.
I have to look that up. I want to. I'm curious to check that out and see.
You can't find it anymore because okay, back in 2017, I was looking for a job and I had like took a break. It was like 2017 summer. I was trying to like, cause I was like pressuring myself, like I gotta find a job. So I thought about how my daddy was trying to find out, the origin of his last name. It's not
Hmm.
up anymore, but it was a Wikipedia page that stated that this last name came from the herb marjoram. Some Latin Germans moved to Britain to basically be indentured servants. And then the British were mocking them, basically, being envious that they were taking over the crop, working the crop. And they used that as an insult. So then they changed the variation of the word for the herb and made it a last name. And I
Wow.
tried to save it, and I think I lost the jump drive because I was gonna like take it to my dad's side of the family and
Hmm.
like let them know. Because the
Hmm.
ironic part about it, back in our hometown, like this white dude asked me like, "What is your last name?" And I told him, and he was like the herb marjoram, and started laughing. And I'm looking, and back then, like my nickname was Butter. So when I went to my daddy, I was like, "Oh, it's Butter," and he's sitting up here mocking. But come to find out, he was right. So I cannot prove it because I lost the page, but it's supposed to be based on that herb, a
Try Chat
variation.
GPT. See what Chat had to say about it.
Say what?
See what Chat GPT had to say about it.
I'm gonna see because the last time I tried to look it up to try to see if I can pull anything, now it's of British origin. It's no longer. It's not attached to the Germans anymore.
Yeah, they changed history. It's kind of like they call it the Mandela effect. It's just like they say Chick-fil-A has always been spelled with a K at the end. Was CHIC. It used to be. I remember it CHICLIFILA, but they say no. It's CHICKFILA, and it's always been that way.
Mm. I could sworn it was a Chick-fil-A one time too. I
Who
could,
knows? They
but
playing with our minds out there.
yeah, that was gonna be my other Black History thing if I would have called it. I'm still thinking about putting it on my page, but yeah. But I'm gonna try to chat and see what they say.
Okay, cool. Well,
All
cool.
right.
Well, catch you later. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime. We'll have to do this again. I'm curious to find out about your last name now.
Okay.
All right, do you?
All right. Bye.
See y'all later.